Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. I run a blog called delightfullysarah.com and I make content about nursing school, being a nursing student, college, and lifestyle. Today we're going to be talking about the ATI TEAS exam, and we're going to be talking about the reading section on that exam and study strategies that you can use to boost your score. So let's get into it. I have notes written down here, so if I'm looking down, that's why. I just want to keep myself on track, not get on any tangents, because I like to do that a lot. So the first study strategy that I'm doing to boost my score is acquiring as many resources as possible. What this looks like is buying prep books off of Amazon, even off of eBay, if, depending on what you can afford. LibGen is also an amazing resource for getting prep books. I literally just download them straight onto my iPad in GoodNotes, so I can annotate everything. I can circle the questions in there, write my little notes. It's lovely. Also, the public library is a great resource for you if you need access to a lot of prep books in a short amount of time and don't want to buy them. I love using the public library. I did that when studying for my ACT and SATs. That was just amazing, because if you're gonna take the test in a month, it doesn't really make the most sense to me personally to buy 6 prep books if, after a month when you pass, they're gonna be useless to you pretty much. So getting them at a discounted price for free, whatever you gotta do, that's a good option if you don't want to buy them. However, I would recommend getting at least 1 or 2 physical copies for yourself, because a lot of the books come with online capabilities where you have practice tests online, they have tutorial videos and things like that. Mometrics and Smart Edition are really great at that. I love their online resources that they have. Kaplan also has one too. And if you're looking for a test prep resource that comes from ATI, ATI does have their study manual as well as practice questions and practice tests that might be good for you if you're interested in that. It is a little bit on the pricier side though, so I'm trying to get around that. I mean, I did end up purchasing it anyway, but the study manual doesn't come in the mail for maybe a week, and I have 5 weeks to study, so I want to hit the ground running. So along with your study resources that you're getting, you want to take a diagnostic test. Basically, the idea of taking a diagnostic test is it is a test to get yourself familiar with the types of questions that we'll be asking, and then based off your answers, you can refine your studying to what you needed the most help on. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically, when you take a diagnostic test, you'll be able to figure out what concepts you consistently got wrong or consistently struggled with, had to guess, didn't know for sure. Whatever the case, anything that you weren't confident on or struggled with, you can go back into your resources and study those specific topics if you're pressed for time. That helps because, say you have a month or a week to study for this exam, you don't want to study everything, because if you're already confident or already strong in one particular test area, you may not need to spend as much attention as you would for a concept that you're struggling with. So taking a diagnostic test and using that to your advantage is a great test strategy for you. The next one that I want to go over is, based off your diagnostic tests, you want to review your weaker concepts. After your diagnostic test, your best shot at increasing your score is improving the skills that you struggled on, right? It's not going to make that much sense to try to boost your score off of things that you already know, that you're already good at, because chances are you got those questions right. The questions that you got wrong is what you want to focus on the most. This way, the next time you take a practice test or when you take the actual test, you're going to see a jump in your score based off of the questions that you got wrong the first time. The first go around, you'll be able to make that progress so that you'll see an increased score. Going over your weaker topics and concepts will also help you gain confidence. So when you see those questions, you're not going to be like, oh my God, this is the one I don't know, or oh my gosh, how am I going to answer this question? You're going to know, okay, I remember this, this, and this from my prep books. this is the information I'm going to apply. So that will help you boost your score that way. Also, I wanted to note that don't beat yourself up if you notice over and over and over again after each practice test you keep getting the same concepts wrong. No, you're not perfect. That's okay. And then also, out of the 53 questions on the reading section, 6 of them don't count towards your score. So chances are, if you're like really stuck on a question or if you're really struggling on it, it might be one of the questions that don't count towards your score anyway. So don't stress out too much. I'm sorry, I moved my tripod with my foot by accident. So after you review the concepts that you struggle the most with, you want to take practice tests. This is going to help you gain more confidence, gain even more familiarity with the types of questions that will be asked, and this is a chance for you to see the progress that you're making. Also, when you take practice tests, you want to take a note of your timing, just because if you're taking practice tests and you're consistently finishing 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the time ends, you may be going through the test a little too quickly. Like, slow down. If you're one of those test takers, like I'm someone who's like this, that finishes way too early, chances are you probably didn't read through the passage all the way. You probably skimmed through the questions, and that's where the silly mistakes are made. I'm someone who literally has to tell myself, slow down. You have enough time to read this all the way through. You have enough time to even analyze, think of the summary, think of the topic sentence, think of opinions, biases before you even get to the questions. If you're someone like me, slow down. You're okay. You're gonna finish on time. If you're someone who tends to not finish on time, that's totally okay. For you, I would just recommend really looking at the question, process of elimination, guess. Make your best guess. If you spend too much time overthinking a question, you're not going to be able to get to the questions that you definitely would have gotten right, or the questions that you like are super confident in, your strong topics. So when you get to your weaker questions, you don't want to spend too much time. I only limit myself to going through each question or going through each answer 3 times. If I go through the answers 3 times and I, say I narrow it down, say I take 1 out, or if I take 2 out, I reread the question. If I can't find the answer in the passage within a minute or 2, then pick your best guess and move on. I do this sometimes. I recognize, you have to also like recognize yourself and figure out which type of test taker you are. If you're someone who, paces yourself well and you finish maybe like 5 minutes or so before the time ends, that's great. You paced yourself well. I wish I was one of those people. I'm not like that. But if you are, like, great for you. That's one less thing you have to worry about on test day. So with your practice tests, when you find out the questions that you got wrong, if you're still really struggling with it, I would recommend working backwards. So this is obviously if you have enough time, which most likely you hopefully do. I would write your own passage, write a passage similar to the ones in your practice tests, or you can just use a passage that's already in your practice tests or practice questions. I would write your own questions based off of the topics that you consistently struggle with, and then answer them. This will help you understand why the concepts work the way that they do. This will help you apply the knowledge that you've learned. This way, the next time you see a question like that, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that this was why it's this. So that's what I recommend. Also, obviously going through your resources, the more study materials you have, the better. This is why I recommend getting as many study resources as you can. Even if you don't read them all the way through, they're at least there for reference, because for me, rereading the same thing over and over again does like nothing for me. So if I have another material that presents the same concept in a different way, that increases my personal attention span, and then I'm more likely to understand a concept when I'm not being like, yeah, I know this already, I read this already. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay. Another study strategy that I have, and you're gonna hate me for this one, I know you're gonna hate me, is SelfCare. I know you hear this in literally every single video, but it's so true. I had to put it in here. If you are studying for 6-8 hours straight with no breaks, no food, no water, I don't know how you do it. Your brain literally needs energy to function. And if your brain doesn't have that energy to function, you're going to be groggy, you're going to be unfocused, you're not going to concentrate as easily, you're not going to retain the information. So please, 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 please get adequate nutrition, get adequate hydration, and adequate rest. This means, as tempting as it is, not staying up until 4 a.m. studying when you have to be up at 8 a.m. the next day. I'm saying it louder for the people in the back, okay? You want to put your brain in the best possible position to retain information. This is especially true when you get closer to the test day. You want to just prep your brain and make sure it has everything that it needs to work well for you, okay? And then the last study strategy that I have is about mindset. If you go into your study sessions thinking, I'm so stupid, I'm never gonna do well in this test, or why can't I just understand this concept? It should be so easy, or I'm gonna fail, I'm not gonna get into the school I want to. Stop. Stop. You gotta really believe in yourself. Just manifest it. Fake it till you make it. Literally anything other than that, because those thoughts are not going to serve you. Those thoughts are not going to help you achieve your dreams. The only thing that those thoughts are going to do is hold you back. So when you have those thoughts, because I'm someone that does this to myself, I'm like, I literally should be getting this. What is not clicking? Especially when it comes to reading, because it's like, I read the information, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then I take the test and I'm like, what? So just like, you really just gotta be gentle with yourself, be compassionate with yourself, and understand that while your goal is to get into your nursing school, and while your goal is to pass the TEAS exam, the ultimate goal of the TEAS test is to make sure you're academically proficient for nursing school, which, if you've gotten this far, chances are you already are. So you gotta understand that you are smart enough. You do belong in nursing school. You deserve to get into nursing school. And it's probably just a matter of you're a bad test taker. I'm one of those people. So just understand that your grades don't define your intelligence. Your grades don't define your worth. Your grades are not going to be the deciding factor of whether or not you get to become a nurse one day. At the end of the day, if you don't pass it this round, you have next time and the time after. So I like to go into my studying knowing that if not now, eventually, I know that if I want to become a nurse, I will become a nurse one way or another. I will get there. I'm not that good of a test taker. I know that I'm someone who needs as many freaking practice tests as I can, get a hold of. If you're studying for the TEAS test, you'll do fine. Just watching, even the fact that you're watching these videos, I hope you're actually studying though, not just watching these videos. You better get to studying. But if you're watching these videos, chances are you do care about your education, you do care about doing well, and if you care enough, you'll get there. You have to tell yourself, I will do well, I will be where I need to be, I will work hard, and I will get there. So that wraps up this video. If you want to get studying, you can watch my study with me for an hour video. That would be cool. I also have other videos about the TEAS test that I'll put in a little playlist that you can find on my channel. It'll be so much fun. We can pass the TEAS test together. I know I'm cringy, but it's a fun cringy, right? Okay.